I listened to your podcast about the drinking, and first of all, I dumped so much unnecessary milk.
Oh my gosh, that is so frustrating.
Oh, after listening here, I was like, oh, damn it.
Hey, Mama Bear. Welcome to the Breastfeeding with Confidence podcast. Do you dream of bonding with your baby through exclusive breastfeeding, but worry about breastfeeding pain or low milk supply? Maybe you're struggling with breastfeeding and no one seems to have any answers. I'm Jamie, doula, international board certified lactation consultant, and mom of 5, and I have been where you are. After working through painful latches, milk supply worries, and postpartum depression, and supporting countless mothers through their breastfeeding journeys for over 8 years, I'm here to tell you breastfeeding doesn't have to be perfect to be positive. Each week, I'll share breastfeeding tips to help you prevent and overcome unexpected breastfeeding challenges so you can actually enjoy bonding with your baby. If you are ready to shut out the toxic whispers of the world, embrace your God-given intuition, and release your inner fierce mama bear, grab some coffee or your favorite herbal tea and let's dive in.
All right, everybody, we are back to the Breastfeeding with Confidence podcast, and I am so excited about our guest today because if you have been on Instagram lately and you are a breastfeeding mom, you know that Emily Rose is taking Instagram by storm with her song Mouths to Feed, and she is here to talk about normalizing breastfeeding during World Breastfeeding Week, what it's like to be a mom, and share her feelings about motherhood with music and art and the music industry's reaction to that. So I'm excited to get into it with you today, Emily. I'm so glad to have you here. Can you say hi to everybody? Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm Emily. I'm just so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So how many little ones do you have?
So I have one. He's 3.5 and crazy as ever.
Oh my gosh, 3-year-olds. Whew.
Yeah, it's like lots of imagination, lots of playtime, and lots of emotions.
Yeah, really
Lots of
big
emotions.
emotions. My
Yeah.
4-year-old today, I was so frustrated because he's just making this giant mess. And I was like, buddy, you have such like a beautifully creative mind. Can we use it to create, not destroy? And he
Yeah.
goes, my brain is just different. It's yellow and shaped like a heart. Like, what?
Oh my God. That's
It's like
hilarious.
the things they say at this age is just you don't know what you're gonna get minute to minute. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm like so excited to have you here. I want to talk about your transition into motherhood and maybe what your breastfeeding journey was like to go ahead and inspire you to write such powerful music that I think connects with what so many of us feel but don't have the words to say.
Yeah. Well, so when did I get pregnant? I think it was, well, I guess it was 2021. I was 29 and, I feel like with my music career, I just kind of kept getting like the wind taken out of my sails. We had COVID and then found out I was pregnant. And, there's kind of like this stigma, I feel like, and I feel like a lot of women would agree with me. We're trying to change it, but that if you're a mom, like, your kind of like career could be over basically, or
Mhm.
like how are you going to balance being a mom and doing music and being an artist and touring and whatever. There's not a lot of support for that, and I definitely had that in my mind. And even like pregnant, I was like, who's going to want to see a pregnant woman singing on stage? And many people were like, hello, me.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
so that was great. So basically, like, for me, like, I really thought, like, having this baby, like, was like, "Okay, I guess, like, the artist stuff is probably gonna be done for, and maybe I'll keep writing." Because so I got pregnant, wasn't sure how I was gonna fit music into my life and kind of just, like, didn't. So I had Rex. Rex is his name, and, um, at first it was beautiful, and my husband is a touring musician, so he's a bass player, so I kind of was in my head like, well, you do the music and I'll figure it out. But so we had our baby thankfully in December, and so he was off the road, which was perfect. So he didn't go back till February. So I had my husband home with me for like maybe a month and a half. So the first month and a half was amazing. It was like super blissful and everything, and I had all this help. And then and everyone checks in on you, and that kind of starts to go away as your baby gets older.
Mhm.
And my husband started going back on tour, and I was kind of like doing a lot of the heavy lifting by myself. We didn't have any family here. And so I just didn't even really pick up a guitar or anything for like, I don't even know. It was probably like the first like 4 months, like nothing. I just didn't know how it fit in my life anymore. And I started listening to podcasts, on the stroller rides, just trying to clear your head and shuffle through your thoughts, because I really struggled with postpartum depression, especially later on. Like, I don't think I even realized I had it until I was like 6 months
Yeah.
pregnant. Or I mean, 6
And I
months
want to say that's
postpartum.
like really common for a lot of people. It's not always right there in the beginning. Especially because postpartum, not to get too off track, can be so connected to nutritional deficiencies and lack of sleep and like
Yeah.
all these different factors that it can really manifest a lot later. And so if you are listening to this, don't think you're crazy just because it's later. It's not always right away.
Well, and it makes sense because like I said, I had all that help. I had my husband, and it makes sense as he started leaving. And I was like also getting a little like jealous, and like we're in the same industry and he was continuing, and I just had to, like, my life was completely stopped, and we weren't really necessarily planning on this first baby. And so that had its whole nother like bag of things. But
Mhm.
so I just started thinking like, how can I do this? Like, how can I still, like, kind of feeling that jealousy reminded me like, oh, I still want to do that. Like, I still want to have a career. I want to try to do music. And so I was like, well, I've always been proud of myself for writing very truthful lyrics and just kind of like writing what I'm experiencing. And I was like, well, why don't I just do that with motherhood?
Mhm.
And so I just started writing down like titles, like, you know, Village, and I wrote down Guilty, and I wrote down Back to Work, because everyone was asking me, like, when are you getting back to your normal life? And Mouths to Feed. Like, I would just write down those titles, and I was like, these are just things that go on that I have to write songs about these. And so it ended up being a whole album's worth.
It's amazing. Can you hear that plane flying over? Is that loud?
Yeah, was that a plane?
Yeah, it's
I thought it was me. I was like, am I knocking
no,
something?
I just texted my husband. I'm like so mad. He has no power over this, but he's in the Air Force and we live south of the base. And I texted him, I'm like,
Oh,
can you tell
no.
these jets not to fly over in full burner for the next hour, please?
Oh my gosh. Seriously. We're trying to talk here.
I was like, can you do something about this? Knowing full well he cannot do anything about it, but it's just perfect. It's okay. It's
That's
real life.
hilarious.
It's real life, right? And that's what we're talking about today is real life. Your Instagram is big on talking about how like you didn't get the best reception from the music industry on this
Yeah.
song. And when we talked, you told me that you were kind of told some things like, oh, this isn't really country. And I literally like laughed out loud. Because I'm like, what is country if it's not real life?
Yeah.
And, right, real life. And I'm like, I'm thinking of some of the music that is on the radio today. And I'm like, I'm not going to call anybody out, but there's a certain very top artist that I cannot stand. And I'm like, they're going to call that country. And this is what? So yeah. The difference there is when we're talking about drinking and cheating and, all the ugly things, it's okay. But if we're talking about the ugly side or the beautiful side or the complex side of motherhood, suddenly it's not real. Can you
Yeah.
kind of tell me some of your thoughts around this? Kind of what happened, the process that you've been going through?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, well, first of all, I wanted to make people feel uncomfortable with what I was writing, because I'm like, if they're squirming, that means that like I'm really am being honest.
It's good to make people feel uncomfortable. That's what music is supposed to do. It's supposed to make people think. It's supposed to evoke emotion, not just like make you feel better about being an alcoholic.
Yeah. So I think that it's just taboo, and like I I don't know. I tried to like find other artists that have done like leaned into motherhood hardcore, and I haven't really found any. I mean, there's like songs, and of course Loretta Lynn, like, and she was a trailblazer, and she really like spoke about a lot of things, but I do think that like it just wasn't palatable. Like, it was like, oh, why did she say breast? Like, why is she
Mhm.
talking about not wanting to have sex with her husband, or all of these things. I think that it was really the subject matter because I mean the album is country, like there's steel guitars and dobros and mandolins, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, there's no way anybody can like that blew my
I think
mind.
it was more like, how would we market this? Like, and I think even still, it's like, I've gotten, well, if this becomes successful, like, who would you open for? And like, because, you know, my songs are about motherhood. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, well, what about like a person who sings about like partying and a person who's singing about heartbreak? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, no, I mean, if we've got love songs talking about marriage, we're talking about sex, do people realize what comes after that? Like, I would guarantee a large percentage of people at your concerts are mothers or fathers who like don't discount dads
Yeah.
understanding this. Like dads get it. Dads see what their wives go through and there's struggle there for them too, witnessing that. And so to see like, oh, there's somebody like putting into words what my wife is feeling. Like
Yeah.
I think there's power in that as well. And it's not like your songs are all just like sad ballads. They're like fun. Like you make these feelings and emotions like fun still.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy. So what's kind of your game plan now? So you were like, that's fine. They don't want this. I'm going to go to Instagram and prove there is a market for this.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that was always the goal anyway. Like I never really was thinking of this album as being mainstream. I mean, like honestly, if this album doesn't do anything, like I am so proud of it and I have it for myself. Like I listen to the songs, like they help me get through. And it was definitely more of like a mission of just putting these feelings into lyrics and music, and that was my goal in the first place. I was like, I just need to get this to the moms, like point
Yeah.
blank. And if other people find it and like it too, like that's great. But yeah, I mean, where else would you go than social media to find all the moms? And they're
Absolutely.
starting to find it, and that's what's making me so happy. The other day, a mom messaged me and was like, I'm breastfeeding my baby at my kid's soccer game, and I'm just like singing Mouths to Feed in my head to like pump me up. And I'm like, that
Yeah.
is all I ever wanted. Like I felt really alone and I felt really isolated in a lot of my feelings, and writing these songs with other women who are also moms in music really helped me, hearing their stories and hearing their struggles, and then finding other women on social media talking about their struggles. Like that's literally the only thing that helped me. That's why this album exists.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of Mouths to Feed specifically, since that's the one that I feel like so many of us relate to.
Yeah.
And it's really probably the most outspoken of them all, in my opinion, because it's like, it's calling out this double standard that society has with women and with breastfeeding. And we're going to say breast is best, but you've got to hide it. We're going to ogle women's bodies until they're doing what they're made to do. And now you're dirty, shameful, like should be hidden. It's like society has a major issue and you ripped that wide open. So can you tell me like what inspired that song specifically?
What inspired it mostly was my friend. She went to the zoo with her family, and she came home that day and she was texting me, and she was like, this old man was like giving me dirty looks, like while I was just breastfeeding, like very modestly at the zoo
With other mammals that are probably also nursing their young.
And the zoo is a place for families anyway. I was just like, that kind of like cracked that idea open for me, because there is such a stigma around it. And it's just like, it's so crazy. I'm just like, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, that feels like a you problem, and like, don't look. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Writing that song was because I didn't feel confident breastfeeding in public. I mean, I did, and I tried the covering up situation, but I like who can like that's asking to do it blindly. Like I had to like see what was going on. And also, like, would you want to eat with like a blanket over your head? I don't think so.
I know. I remember in 2021. No, it was 2019. I had just had my daughter and my husband deployed. And so I moved back with my parents, and my friend just had her baby about the same time. And it was like her third baby. And she went into a restaurant and was nursing her baby in the restaurant. And the manager came over and was like, "You're making people uncomfortable. You need to cover up or leave." Yeah, it turned into a big thing. Like we tried to do a nurse in, but then they were like closed that day. So we just stood on the sidewalk and there were like news crews. Like we were
Oh
like
my God.
making a big deal about it. But that was in 2019 and it still makes people uncomfortable. I get comments every single day on my Instagram saying things like, "This is a sacred thing between a mom and a baby. It's beautiful, but it should be behind closed doors." Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing that upsets me most, and this is another reason why I find like the whole like unpalatable for country music is like, it's always like, and I am saying this as a like Catholic Christian mother, it's always the Christians that are like, "Oh, that's sacred. It should be hidden." And it's like, but we're using our bodies the way God intended. Like you have a problem with sexualization, but by trying to hide this, you're inherently sexualizing it.
Yeah.
So what? We're supposed to glorify sexuality, but hide exactly what God designed us to do.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, country music kind of has some overlap with like the Christian like roots
Well,
and
yeah.
everything. And yeah, and it's kind of like you think about it and you're like, so these like hard up Christians can't talk about motherhood and breastfeeding, but
Right.
we can still talk about. I'm trying not to throw any names under the bus. So
I know what you mean. Well, and it's like it does feel like anything to like take power away from women. You know what I mean? And it's just like that is such a power, like that's so powerful. Any man is gonna profit off of being breastfed. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like you guys need this. Like and I feel like it is a lot of men, it is women too, that will be like, "Oh my gosh, like we can't see that. Like that's so inappropriate." But it's like it's definitely feels like it's taking that power away from us. And it's like, "Hello, we're doing this for everybody. You try it." Love
that's
to
what I
see you
think.
do it. And
People,
if they did, we'd have the best like of everything. Like we'd have
I
amazing
know.
rooms to breastfeed in and these amazing breast pumps that are state of the art.
I completely agree. It's just a double standard every way you turn it, every way you twist it, and it's really upsetting. So what's kind of your next move now? How many do you I don't know if you are able to track it. Like how many reels have been made using your song? Are you able to
Oh my
track that at
gosh.
all?
You can track it. I think it's like getting close to 200. It's like it's still a very small number, but I mean
Is
like
that all? I feel like I've seen
for
so
me I'm
many.
like I know.
No,
Well, I
that's
think
yeah.
too it's like people are using like there's a few different like versions of the sound floating around, so
Mhm.
that's also that. But it's been amazing. I mean, especially this week, just seeing all of these women like just being brave and posting the videos and seeing some of the backlash that they've gotten for posting videos of them breastfeeding or pictures.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, like, I'm just like, holy crap, this is the most amazing thing. And just to know that it's connecting this way and empowering people. Like it's empowering me. When I get pregnant
Yeah.
again, I'm like, let's go. This
Yeah,
is gonna be
no,
a whole different experience for me. I'm like,
it is.
everybody watch out.
It is. It's like it's so empowering. It's World Breastfeeding Week and it's like seeing these moms like put their stories out there. Moms who cuz I've seen people post where I'm like they never would have posted that.
Yeah.
They never would have posted that and felt comfortable posting that, but now they've got the song and they're seeing other moms do it. And
Yeah.
this is what I talk so much about, especially when I go on other podcasts, but on here too and other episodes is like women learn to breastfeed by seeing other women breastfeed. That's how you learn. That's how all mammals learn to breastfeed. I remember there was a news article about there was this ape or gorilla at a zoo, and she had only lived in captivity, never been around another primate that had given birth and had a baby. So she got pregnant and had a baby and had no idea how to feed her baby. She wasn't able to feed her baby. And they brought moms like mothers, human mothers in, sat them next to the glass and taught her how to breastfeed.
Oh my gosh.
And that is like,
That's incredible.
it is, but it goes to show like it's natural, but it's a learned skill. And you learn it by witnessing it from the time you're born and like through your life. And it's like a subconscious learning, but we have hidden it. We have hidden breastfeeding for 150, 200 years,
Yeah.
and it's been forgotten. it's been completely forgotten. And so the only way to get these breastfeeding rates higher, or whatever like public health people claim that they're trying to do for breastfeeding rates, the only way to do that is to fix society.
Yeah.
And I feel like you are single-handedly having a huge impact on that, because you're inspiring women to be public about this. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be this like dirty sexualized thing. It's just feeding a dang baby. Why
Yeah.
is feeding your baby controversial?
I have no idea. Isn't that hilarious? Like there are so many things that are controversial. I just don't think that this should be one of them. But it
Honestly.
is. But it is. And that's like, we're going to change it. I feel like a lot of my issue was like, it was like, oh, hopefully you're going to be able to breastfeed. Like, hopefully it's going to work out for you and your milk, because I didn't really like have a lot of people that I knew that had a successful time breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just happy that I was producing milk, and I had like an oversupply, and I had a lot of issues, and like I kind of felt like I didn't even know how to deal with any of them, because I was just like, oh, I'm getting milk. Like this is exciting. And so that's like a whole nother issue is, we're just not communicating about it, and we're not teaching each other. And that hurt me so much. It really did.
It does. And I was just talking to my husband about this last night, because I get so frustrated, because I look back on my experience, and then I look at the moms I work with, and kind of like what you're saying right now is like, so many moms are pregnant and want to breastfeed, and they kind of are like, oh, it'll work out. And if it doesn't, I just have really bad luck. There's nothing I can do about it. And they don't realize until after the fact that there's so much they could have learned sooner. And then it's like hindsight is 2020. I should have prepared better. And it's always so frustrating for me, because I'm like, I don't know how to get that message out there. Like that you are pregnant and you want to breastfeed. It's not about luck. It's about information and support. And you need to find that sooner rather than later. And I feel like that's just something that's not talked about. And then, I talk to moms who it's like their baby is 15 years old, and they're like, oh, you're a lactation consultant? I had such a hard time breastfeeding A, B, C, D, EFG. And I'm like, I'll ask a couple questions. And then by the end of the conversation, they're like, I really wish I knew you 15 years ago, because maybe I would have actually been able to breastfeed. And I'm like, well, yeah, we're trying to change that. But I feel like, it feels like we make so much progress. And then I look around and I'm like, we still have so far to go.
We really do. And that's like what sucks, right? Because I'm like, so like my first baby was trial and error. Like I feel bad for him, like because
The experiment.
Yeah, it's like he was the experiment, and now this next baby is gonna be like, a totally different experience. And I'm just like, if I would have just had the resources, like both experiences could be great. It's so touchy, especially like talking to people that are like new moms, because you don't want to overstep your bounds, but I just also want to be like, you can do it. And like, please let me share some resources with you. If you really want this, like, it's going to be great and you can do it. And, like, I feel like any way that you can feed your baby is absolutely great and all of that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if people just had more information.
Oh, and that's the thing, is so many people can breastfeed. They just don't have the support. So then they make the choice not to, but they feel guilty about it. And I try to get across the point that it's like, it's not guilt you're feeling. It's like a mourning of not I'm not getting the right word, but it's like not having the support that you needed, knowing inside that like you were pushed and pressured into this decision out of fear, not because it was necessarily the right thing. And it doesn't mean it was the wrong thing either, but I think so many moms have such big emotions about it because they know deep down that they probably could have done it with better support, and they were failed by everybody around them. And how painful is that to look in the face?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and I say that as somebody who's working with second time moms who are telling me that. Like, I'm not just like saying that out of nowhere. It's like second time moms are telling me like, I'm putting effort into it this time, and I wish I had known this last time. Like, nobody told me. And so I thought I had no other choice but to quit. And they don't know what their options are. Like there's so many things between exclusively breastfeeding and exclusively formula feeding as well. Those are two ends of a very wide spectrum of how to feed your baby. And at the end of the day, you should be doing it with like confidence, making informed decisions.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Sorry, I'm like on my
No.
soapbox.
Hey mama, I am so sorry to interrupt this amazing conversation, but I wanted to let you know that if you are pregnant and preparing to breastfeed and you don't want to be surprised by unexpected challenges, or you're currently in the thick of those unexpected challenges and kind of confused on what to do next, the Breastfeeding Resource Library is the solution. It lays out everything you need to know to prepare for confident breastfeeding, and it helps you navigate the common and not so common challenges with breastfeeding demonstrations, explanations for root causes, and solutions that are designed to work. You can visit littlebearlactation.com/library and use code podcast50 to save $50 on the Breastfeeding Resource Library today. And if you decide that you want some more personalized support, some actual hand-holding, I can help you with that too. I offer custom concierge lactation consultations virtually and in person. Visit littlebearlactation.com to learn more.
No, I agree so much. And I'm like, and I'm going to say it too. Like, I wish I would have known you when I was breastfeeding. It's like, how many times has someone said that to you?
Honestly,
You should start counting.
If I had a dollar for every time, I would be making a lot more money than I am right now.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Bringing that back to like the conversation about having a career and balancing motherhood, and it's like you look at other celebrities and artists and these mothers who are kind of in the spotlight, the example that we're seeing in society. And so often, I feel like a lot of it is, or was for a long time, very like, oh, these two things have to be separate. We're not looking at her as a mother. She's only a sex symbol, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's kind of changing now. I think there are some celebrities who are very intentionally trying to embrace motherhood and let that be seen without, being too in your face about it. I don't want to ever sound like I'm saying somebody's doing it wrong, but I think there are a lot that probably could be more vocal about that balance. And I think, there are some who have done a really great job about that. I really loved Carrie Underwood sharing her stories about miscarriage and pregnancy loss. And
Yeah.
I feel like that was really powerful. And it kind of makes me laugh. It's like that touched everybody. And that was something that, that made waves across the nation, but she was already established. So it was okay. Like you're coming in, like trying to make that your message, and suddenly motherhood's not okay anymore. And that's kind of ironic to me as well. I don't even know where I was going with that, but I think there is a shift happening. And we have we see that there's a problem with how society views mothers. And that's not to say that we have to quote do it all, but like also it's okay for our career, what our career looks like, to shift and change and develop as we shift and change and develop. And that doesn't mean we have to stop. It just means it's going to look different. And that's okay too. Like if I am really big on like embracing mothers in the workplace, not in a like separate it all, but like bring your baby.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like there's certain situations and times, like obviously a surgeon can't have a newborn on their back, right? Like I get it. But there are times where it's like we need to embrace that more without calling it not professional or like I just, it was totally okay when Brantley Gilbert ran off stage to go like see his baby be born and then come back to stage. But a mom,
which also I'm like, you went and then you came back.
They say that was agreed upon. I don't know what their private relationship is, but I wouldn't have been okay with that. But I get it. Like,
go finish your show, honey. I've got this.
Hey, I mean, everybody's got their own structure. I don't know. Maybe
that was great. That was
maybe
great.
in the moment for something like that. That is kind of cool. Like, yeah, go tell them what happened. I'm a badass. Tell them all. I don't know. Maybe I would have said scream it from the rooftops. I never would have been able to like be in labor without my husband attached at my hip though. So I don't know.
No, I would not have been able to like get through it without him. Like seriously.
I know. But and again, that comes right back to though, like everybody's story is going to be different, right?
Yeah.
And sharing them is what's powerful. And I don't understand why we can only share them when somebody deems it okay to share.
Right. And I think there is something to be said about like, privacy and like, especially like, celebrities who have been celebrities forever. Like, sure, they need something to be private in their life.
Oh,
And
for sure.
that makes sense for it to be their family. But I feel like for me, like I want to share it all because that is really what helped me with everything I've ever been through, that I've needed to heal through. Like hearing somebody else say like, "Hey, I have been there. Here's some help. Here's just what I experienced." It just changes everything. It's so helpful and just like cracks open doors and
It does.
just
And
helps you heal.
it really does. And I think and maybe this is where a lot of my feelings around this come from is like so much of society is shaped by pop culture.
Yeah.
And so the example set by celebrities is like they just have a really big platform and it's very impactful. And so that's why I loved Brantley Gilbert sharing about his wife's birth in a bus. Like I'm a home birth mom. Like I've had 3 of my babies outside of the hospital and I'm like, that's awesome. And it's so funny to see how people are totally like, that's amazing. Like there was a lot of support behind that. It was not like, oh, they're crazy. I was
Yeah.
told I was crazy. But it's like I love bringing when they can like still have their privacy but shed light on those important things because it does it like those are the things that are going to change culture.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
like I love I'm not like a big Rihanna fan, but I love and not to say I don't like her. I don't listen to her music.
Yeah.
But I love how she has like embraced pregnancy and like is like happy to show it off. Like this is
I
what women
know.
are for. Like she's amazing for that.
Yeah.
And so like I think some have just found such an amazing way to balance that. Like, yeah, we're gonna keep this private, but when we talk about it, we can make sure that other moms are, you know, supported and not feeling alone. And I think you have the potential for such an impactful platform. And I just hope that somebody somewhere sees how important that is and helps get you that, for lack of a word, microphone to like to shout that message to the world and be that example. Like I don't know. I can just like see like 5 years from now, like a stadium full of moms like wearing their babies with headphones,
Oh my
rocking out at a
gosh.
concert.
That would be amazing. Honestly, like that really is just all I want. I've never felt more passionate about anything in my life, just this subject matter. I don't know why. I thought it was going to ruin my career being a mom, and it's just made it better. Like I work harder, I work smarter, I feel more strong and just like more empowered and um I just want to show people that and show like our kids that you can feel this way. And like that was the thing. It was like how crazy it is that I was like, oh, my career is over because I'm a mom. And then I even talked to some moms that do music and they're like, oh no, it's going to make you so much better. And I'm like, well, why doesn't anybody set us up for that thinking?
Yeah.
Because maybe
Yeah.
I would have started my family sooner if I would have thought like it's okay, like it's all okay to do
Yeah.
this.
And I want to say too, it's okay to have that break. It's okay to take that time to transition and not have to go to like, oh, my life is ruined, everything's over. Like because I just didn't pick up a guitar for 4 months, ma'am.
Yeah. No,
Like
it's okay.
that break
Well,
is
no,
good. Sometimes that break is good. It gives you time to create more.
yeah, it gives you time. I mean, I think especially for creative people, you need to step back every once in a while or you're just going to get burnout, like
Yeah.
you can't just like always be creating or like your creation, box is going to get emptied and you need to fill it back up. But I always joke, I'm like, whenever we have another baby, it's going to be like a Bigfoot sighting for like at least the first 6 months. Like you're going to be lucky if you see me because I'm just
Yeah.
going to stop. Like I'm just going to let myself enjoy it because that was the other thing is I compared myself to so many women who did music and were new moms as well. And, maybe they had different types of support or maybe their husbands, weren't touring musicians and they were there to help out a little bit more. But I compared myself so hard to these women that looked so perfect. they were so seamless into the transition into motherhood. And like it probably wasn't that, you know, like it probably wasn't seamless for them, but they weren't
No,
showing that.
you just made me think of Nashville, the show, when Hayden's character
Oh
became a
yeah.
mom, and it was like she fell apart behind the scenes, and she
Yeah.
kept trying to put out there that she wasn't. And I feel like that was such beautiful commentary on exactly what you're talking about, that like
Yeah.
we need to have that. And but that's, I feel like, also kind of the only thing that's ever portrayed is this like fall apart thing, not the beautiful side of it. It's like the only thing that we portray without holding back is the ugly side
Right.
in an
Well,
ugly
and
light. We never talk about the healing side, the growing from that part.
right. Well, and maybe it wouldn't be so ugly if we knew more information or talked about more things. Like maybe we wouldn't fall apart as much. Maybe
Yeah,
we wouldn't be so depleted in our nutrients and, you know, like have such a hard time postpartum if we were supported um
I completely
in
agree.
all
So,
aspects.
so what does
So,
support look like in your opinion? What do you think support should look like?
I mean, well, first it would be great if like insurance helped out with anything postpartum related, honestly, because that honestly was a lot that like held me back from seeking help too. But just like having the resources and having more information about those things that you're saying, like about most women being so like nutrient deprived and you know, like getting pelvic floor therapy and like things like that and
All
having
right.
access. But now I'm like realizing, no, those things are important. It doesn't matter if insurance doesn't cover or not. You should find a way to make it work because you need those things. But anyway, just having like pelvic floor therapy and having more knowledge. I mean, I just don't even feel like we're armed with knowledge about our bodies and what's going on. It's like, here's the baby. Let's all worry about the baby. And like nobody worries about the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you can listen to my album and you can feel a
Yeah.
little more seen and just more, I mean, just more things like that. I just feel like every day I feel like I'm learning something new about the postpartum experience, especially this week, because I feel like my like algorithm is showing me so much
Yeah.
of this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I didn't know that. Wow, I wish I would have known.
What if you had to pick one thing, and that's going to be hard. If you had to pick
Okay.
one thing that would have changed your life if you had known it sooner, what would it be?
Like in my personal experience or
Mm-hmm.
just overall? Well,
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like if I would have gone to see a lactation specialist like 2 months sooner, my whole experience would have been completely different.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of women, like why aren't we reaching out to people like you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
Like I don't
there's a lot. There's a lot behind that. I think a big one is we think that we've been dealing with experts. We're getting information from nurses and doctors and our doulas and whoever else is around us, and we don't think like, or we work with a lactation consultant at the hospital or something, and they don't help us. So we kind of are like, well, we must just be broken, instead of realizing that like
right.
that system and model of care is not always the most helpful, and it's not you that can't be helped, it's them who can't help you. And so moms they wait, like with so many moms come to me, their baby's like 8 weeks, 12 weeks, like 16 weeks old, and I'm like, why did you not come sooner? We could have fixed so much of this, and it just snowballed. Like now
Yeah.
it's gonna be harder. And it doesn't mean we can't fix it, but it is. It's, yeah, there's a lot of people waiting until they're on that edge
Right,
to
until
get
they
help.
have to have help and like I just wish like we all knew like, hey, go sooner. Like it's okay. I don't know why I waited so long, but I had an oversupply and by the time I saw a lactation specialist, I was already like mostly pumping and I realized like dang, like she could have solved this problem before it got to this. Like
Yeah. And I
it would
think
have been okay.
it's hard with oversupply because you almost feel guilty for saying like, I
Oh
have a
my
problem,
gosh.
I'm struggling. You feel guilty for that because there's
I
so many moms
did.
who don't have enough milk. And so how dare you complain about having too much milk? But people
Right.
don't understand there are very, very real issues that come with oversupply that can lead to undersupply.
Yeah.
down the
Well,
road.
mastitis all the time. I was always engorged, and it was harder for my baby to latch because I had to oversupply because it was just like so much
Yeah.
milk coming at him. I was like, well, how dare I complain about all this milk I'm making? So I'll just pump like my body is thinking that I need, and I'll just have all this milk and I can like give some away and whatever. And I mean, I wouldn't change anything, but there's a lot of things I would do differently.
Mhm.
If that makes
It was
sense.
no, it does. It was a learning experience, and you are who you are because of that experience. But if you had known sooner, you could have had a less like, why do we all have to learn the hard way?
I
That's
know.
my question. Why do we all want to learn the hard way? Like, you don't have to learn the hard way. I learned it the hard way. You don't have to.
Yeah, yeah. I know. We should be like, "Hello, here's some advice."
Yeah. And then I think it gets hard too, because you do like you see the mommy groups where people are sharing advice, and that's great. But then it ends up being like really bad advice because it's advice for them, not somebody else. And it's sometimes it just gets really muddled. And so I think that's another reason moms get really confused and afraid to go ask for help
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, well, this person said that and that person said this. And so I just like they just get overwhelmed. It's almost like information overload.
Yeah, there's so much information. There's so many and that's true
There's
because
so much
everyone's
information and not enough at the same time.
yeah, like yeah, that's a conundrum. We just like we just confuse ourselves even more just then. I feel like that's definitely my biggest thing that I wish I just
Yeah.
would have gone for sooner.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I hope
Yeah.
somebody out there hears that and knows that, like, if you do
Yeah,
have oversupply,
go
get
to the
help
lactation
because that
specialist.
I need to just do an episode just on that. But like oversupply
Yes.
can be a red flag for challenges and struggles just as much as undersupply can. So
Yeah.
please get help. Don't be afraid to get help. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. If people
Of
want to
course.
listen to your album, where can they find it?
You can find it anywhere. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, all of them. It's just Welcome to Motherhood by Emily Rose.
I love it. And you are Emily Rose Official on Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. I will link all of that in the show notes because y'all
Thank
should go
you.
give her a listen. Let's get her recognized and seen so that other moms can. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, I just can't
know.
stop thinking, like, how can we get this message out there?
I know. I'm like, I so badly just like want to like have a show, like you said, like probably not in a stadium, but just like a place where like the moms can just come and just
Yeah.
feel seen. Like I can just imagine the conversations like of women just like at the show. Like I just feel like it would just be such like a healing experience. I'm like,
No, it would be
that is
so
going
cool.
to happen. I know that'll happen someday,
It
and I just
will. It
cannot
will.
wait.
You know what? You're setting the stage right now for next World Breastfeeding Week for you to have like the
Yes.
biggest big latch on.
Yes. Oh
Like,
my
All right, Mama Bear, that is a wrap for today. If this episode helped you feel a little more confident or a little more prepared for breastfeeding, can I ask you a quick favor? Go ahead and leave me a review. It helps other moms find this podcast and join us in this amazing community of fierce and confident Mama Bears. And hey, if you know a friend who could use some encouragement or real talk about pregnancy, breastfeeding, and all things motherhood, share this episode with her. You've got this, Mama Bear. Trust your instincts, stay fierce, and I'll catch you in the next episode.